Okay, well, it is officially 7 o'clock, so let me go ahead and call the meeting to order. At this hearing, okay, I'll be closer to it. Well, let me welcome you. Those of you that were here last week know that last month, know I missed the meeting because of the death of my brother-in-law, but I appreciate John stepping in and running the meeting. He's been a big help for us over the years, and I appreciate him having to deal with a pretty busy meeting. But so at this time, though, would you rise and join me to pledge allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have the agenda in front of us. I need to ask for approval. We don't have any changes I don't think we need to make tonight. So could I ask a motion to approve our agenda as presented? Okay, motion by Andy, second by John. All in favor? Aye. Okay. And this agenda has no old business, so we got 4 items of new business, and I think we'll have a fairly short meeting tonight, so we can head out and try to get ready for the holidays. I appreciate the poinsettias put in here. I was concerned that we didn't have any holiday indicator in this room when I was here a few days ago, but it's. I'll tell you this: as you all know, our downtown looks great this Christmas. I think it looks the best. I think it looks the best it's ever looked. And Eric and everybody that in public works that worked on that, appreciate it. It's I kind of want to leave it all the time now, have nighttime lighting like that, but it does look good, so appreciate that. We have no appearances that had signed, gave us a request to be put on the agenda. At this point, I'll open this up for public comments. Anybody want to address the council on any issue?
Just want to say it was a great parade.
It was, as I was telling some people here, my wife went out of town and I got sick. I got about the sickest I've ever been by myself. But I watched it on, Facebook Live. But it's the first one I missed, but I've had so many positive comments on it, and I saw Canton's, and it was like it wasn't even comparable, So it was a great draw, and it's amazing the people I hear that live across the region that come to Ball Ground for our Christmas parade. So it is a big draw. Any other comments? You want any announcements to make, Eric?
We are starting to work on our 2022 events calendar. Only things on the calendar so far are April 30th will be the Barbecue and Brews Festival downtown. June 25th will be our fireworks display this year, and the March of Toys for Tots will be December 2nd on our 22 calendar. Also to point out, January 4th will be the public hearing for the Lloyd development. That'll take place at the Bluffs in Canton. And on January 13th, immediately preceding the council meeting, will be the public hearing here at 6 p.m. on the Fitz development, Old Dawsonville Road.
Okay. We will make sure that's placed on the website as far as our agenda. Okay, thank you, Eric. You guys have received the minutes from the last meeting. Any changes? If not, can I have a motion to approve the meeting of the November 18th?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Lee, second. By Andy. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that sounds unanimous. And this is great that we've got 5 council members here now. And Vicki, I wasn't here when you were sworn in, but glad to have you on board.
Thank you. Karen did a great job.
Well, she swears at me a lot in a different way. Swears at, not in. But well, she'll be doing that again in next month too.
Wow.
So, but we're glad to have you on board.
Thank you.
Let's move on. We have no old business tonight, so the first item of new business is a approval of submitting certain items for surplus so they can be sold. Basically, it's a utility trailer and it's the old Santa sleigh. Eric, you want to detail that?
Right, they'd go separately on gov deals. First one is a 14,000-pound utility trailer. We're asking to put that on gov deals and establish a minimum bid of $3,000. The Santa sleigh that's there is more of a prop than really a sleigh. We're just asking for permission to go ahead and put that on gov deals for sale as well. And if it does not get any bids, to be able to discard it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Once it's sold, where would the money
Into the general
go?
fund.
Into the general fund?
Yes, ma'am.
And, you know, it's amazing. We have to declare things surplus before we can sell them, even if they're not worth anything. That's just the way the law is. So, but this online source has worked real well for us. So sometimes we'll get more than we expect. Maybe this will happen this time. Maybe somebody will think the sleigh's worth about $10,000. Okay, could I have a motion to accept placing those items on surplus? Okay. Motion by Mickey, second by Vicki. Vicki, all right. All in favor? Okay, all opposed, that's unanimous. Next item is consider authorization of an actuarial study through-year buyback for the defined benefit plan. This is a retirement plan for employees. And Eric, why don't you give a background on how we changed from, we were doing 457K contributions, but then a few years ago, we moved the retirement plan into a pension plan through the Georgia Municipal Association.
Correct. We initiated that plan in 2017. Prior to that, there was not a defined benefit retirement plan for employees. This actuarial study will determine if it's feasible and what the cost would be to buy in 3 years, an additional 3 years. Like I said, this started in 17. So the ability to buy 3 years of service for employees that were employed prior to 2017. If they came on board in 2018, 2019, this would not apply. It would apply to pre-2017 employees. The cost of the study is $2,100, and that would come back to full council, like I said, to determine if it's feasible to buy into the plan.
But the benefit plan, the pension plan now, only gives people credit for how many years of service?
5.
For 5 years. And there are people on board, on staff here that have been here a lot longer than 5 years. So the intent is to come a way to actually help raise the retirement benefit to people that have spent a long time with the city. Right now, it's curtailed quite a bit because this buyback that we started with is only for 5 years. But if we take that 3 years more, would likely almost double your payback to most people that they receive. So that's something we'll get the information about exact cost and how it enhances the benefit once we have the study. So
Right.
Could I ask for a motion to approve spending $2,100 for the study? Okay, motion by Andy. Second by John. Any questions or discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Okay, unanimous, thank you. Third item under new business is a resolution adopting the Cherokee County 2021 Hazard Mitigation Plan. This is kind of something that's required from FEMA. If we were to have something disaster, hurricane, well, we don't have hurricanes here, I don't think, but tornadoes or ice storms or things where we would have to get help from FEMA. They require counties and municipalities to have an agreement on board ahead of time. So this is just a pretty simple resolution to adopt the county's mitigation plan, hazard mitigation plan. Council members have a copy of it. One of the lines is FEMA has required that every county and municipality have a pre-disaster mitigation plan in place and requires the adoption of such plans in order to receive any funding in the event something happens. So it's a kind of a boilerplate type motion to ask for. Could I ask for a motion to approve the resolution? Okay, Vicki, John, second? Lee? Okay, motion by Vicki, second by John. Any questions or discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, that's unanimous. Hopefully, we won't have to use it. That's for true, but you never know. Okay, the last thing under new business is consideration of the first reading of an application for an alcohol license. This is to be Ball Ground Tavern. This is a new restaurant that will have a bar in downtown Ball Ground where the Rosario's restaurant was. He has sold this to Lupe Fuentes, and so they want to go ahead and they're asking to go ahead. Lupe, they've had alcohol license with the city at another restaurant and never been an issue, but for new people, an alcohol license is almost like an ordinance. It takes 2 readings, and it takes advertising in between, and it takes all this, we have to do all this checking to make sure there are no criminal activities or any problems like that. But we want to go ahead and put forth tonight for the first reading for the applicant is named Raul de la Vega, and it will be Ball Ground Tavern. Motion to approve? Yes, sir. Motion by John. Second by Mickey. Any questions or comments from council? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, all opposed? Unanimous? That's good. And we'll have the next meeting we have, we'll have the second reading for that license. Okay, that concludes quickly our new business. Eric, you want to give us your monthly update?
We'll go through real quick tonight. Fund balances, the general fund is at $628,000. SPLOST is at $95,000. Fire is $83,000, and fire, again, is just a pass-through. We collect that on a monthly basis and remit it to the county, so we never keep any of that money. Utilities is at $1.24 million. If you recall from last month, we're trying to get to a target in utilities of $1.7 million. That's our next sewer project. The cost of the force main upgrade between Sage Hill and Airport Road is estimated at $1.7 million. Total on hand of $2,056,000, and we still have $124,000 on hand of the last ARP funding. Revenue and expenditures for the month of November, general fund revenue at $206,000, year-to-date revenue at $585,000. SPLOST, the revenue was $113,000 against expenditures of $98,000. Utilities at $174,000 with expenditures of $135,000. Quick project update, the Old Dawsonville Road traffic study. We've received the draft on it. We should have the final copy hopefully tomorrow or Monday. The draft just had the data. The final one should have the conclusions that are drawn on that. On Kelvin Farmer Park, the retaining wall sidewalk, 90% complete. We're waiting on installation of handrails as soon as they arrive. And the new downtown parking lot is about 60% complete. We would like to ask Mayor and Council this evening for authorization to spend up to $20,000 for a traffic study of the downtown area. This would be a splost expenditure. We have $135,000 remaining in the roads capital line. So this $20,000 would come from that $135,000. This would be a traffic study of 30 or 20 intersections in the downtown corridor. That would also create a model that would allow the engineer, in concert with the city, to tell what different changes at different intersections would impact other intersections throughout that area, and would help us as we go into March, starting to work on our capital improvement plan, how to best allocate our resources, what intersections need funding first. So we would ask for the authorization to.
Who will be doing the
A&R Engineering out of Marietta. They specialize in traffic. That's all they work on.
Okay, well, I think it's a very important thing to do. We're coupled with all the traffic downtown and working on the bypass and, you know, additional housing units and increased traffic. I think it'd be great to have the study. It would help us make decisions, what to do and what to ask for, assuming GDOT would approve it, but that's unknown. But could I have a motion to approve moving forward with this $20,000 study? Okay.
Second.
All right, motion by Lee, second by John. Questions, discussion? Vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous, thank you.
Can you give an idea of turnaround for that?
We're looking probably at March, right about the time we're having the retreat. Police station, we meet tomorrow morning with Johnson Lowe and the representatives from Gordian to issue the notice to proceed and sign the contract. The budget for that is $840,391.89. We will finalize the critical path tomorrow morning. They'll give us a timeline of all aspects of the construction process. We're anticipating about a 10.5-month build. And we'll get some signs up, but when we start construction, we'll get some signs out ahead of time, but we will be closing Beck Street for a good portion of the construction. We'll have to move employee parking. The parking lot out front will pretty much become a storage area for materials and equipment. And then we'll probably have 15, 20 folks at a time working on the building that also need places to park. So we'll be using Beck Street for that. On the pending GDOT requests and actions, crosswalk at Lantern Walk is kind of stalled. That's one of the things we've also asked this engineer to look at for us. He's got a history with GDOT as well as the Atlanta Regional Commission, so can maybe speed that along for us. The right turn lane and widening is still on the GDOT bid list. And the drainage project in the vicinity of 420 Gilmer Ferry, the materials were actually delivered today. GDOT's been notified. They are doing that project in-house, so that ought to get started hopefully pretty quickly. Still 2 pending requests. The stop sign addition at Old Dawsonville Road and 372. Again, this is something that A&R Engineering may be able to speed along for us because they'll be doing a assessment of that intersection. And also, GDOT has gotten back with us, matter of fact, this afternoon on the request for the stormwater drainage on State Route 372 from Northridge, headed up the hill towards Roberts Lake Road. And it looks favorable that if we buy the pipe, they will likely do the work and installation. That would pave the way for curb gutter, storm drain, and a potential sidewalk on that side of the road, abandoning the one on the other side of the road that is so dangerous.
Yes.
And that's it for this evening, sir. If there's any
That'd
questions.
It'd be very, be great if we could get that sidewalk removed from the side that it currently is, that you can't even walk on it because you're practically walking in traffic. But actually to build another one on the other side, but the drainage has to be
Address first.
resolved to do that. Oh, in the last year or so, I've always, when I came for my comments, I've always made a comment about the COVID crisis. I'm glad to see that in Georgia now, we're finally leveled off and we're on a decline. Cherokee County has been slightly kind of stagnant here lately in the number of new cases. And for the city, we measure the number of cases in the last 2 weeks per 100,000 people in the county. And our number, when it starts to go over 200, we start then clamping down on mask requirements in the city hall. It's staying around 100 right now. It got down to as low as 25 or 30 back in June. So hopefully this new variant's not going to drive it up. Our vaccination rates in Cherokee County now they're on match with the state, 51% are fully vaccinated. I think 55% have one vaccination, just one. But we still encourage that. Never know, the deviants are going to pop up around the world constantly, but we do encourage our residents to get vaccinated. I wanted to mention upcoming planning retreat. We'll be putting together our council planning retreat this year, particularly since we have new members. That will be a real important part of getting going on the city service. Normally we look at January or February, but this January we've got cities conference, summits conference in January that kind of interferes. I want people to go to that and do training there. I always do, but it takes place in Atlanta. But the three of you, Christine, Dennis, Vicki, you'll have to go to Athens in February for 3 days for a newly elected officials institute training. And so I think it's important that you go through that before we do our retreat. So I'm gonna put out the idea of and let me hear back from all of you, maybe looking at maybe the weekend of the 11th of March or the 25th of March. And that would give us time to schedule it and get some people to speak or to guide us. So if you would, just let me know one way or the other, if you prefer one over the other. But I'd like us to get that done. We have not, because of the COVID, we have not had a retreat in 2 years. And in the past, I felt like, and I'm sure council members here will agree, it's very effective in letting us all be on the same page about, goals for the city or things that we want to make happen for people. I'd mentioned the training going on in Atlanta. That goes on through GMA year-round. And I want to encourage our new council members to be active in the training. We have two council members that this is their last meeting, and I'm surrounded by them, Mickey and John. But they both, in their experience here, they have both achieved certificates they're called certificate of achievement, because they've taken 72 hours minimum of all of these courses. And so that's very complimentary. And it helps, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It helps you understand, because when you're in class with people throughout the state, and you find out that people do things a lot differently in other parts, particularly South Georgia. But it's very educational, and I want to encourage our council members to work on getting like these two, getting these. I call them degrees because they're almost like getting their own college degree. But it's they've been very active in it. We're going to at the end of this meeting, we're going to actually have a reception for them. But at this time, before I move out of John and Mickey, let me ask Andy, do you have anything you want to bring up tonight?
No.
Vicki, do you want to have anything you want to bring up? Mickey, your last word?
Last word, huh? Well, just real quick, just to let everybody know, I usually give a little report on what's happening in Parks and Recs, but as I head out, we'll be having our Christmas tournament in the gym. Starts the week of Christmas through New Year's, so that's usually a pretty successful big event there. But I wanted to just take a moment to thank the mayor and the council and Eric and everybody in the city of Ball Ground. Thank you for the years of service that I got to do for the city that I love. The new members that are coming aboard, I hope that you continue the same thing that John and I tried to do for our city. I think you will. It's just a great adventure. I enjoyed every bit of it. Take advantage of going to the conventions and the meetings and the things of that nature. And again, thank you for everything, Rick and Eric and Karen and everybody else. So thank you.
Thank you for your service. John?
Yeah, like Mickey said, it's been an honor and a privilege, and the people here have become family. Over 19 years. We stumbled on this little town by accident about 30 years ago now. I don't know how much time has gone by, but fell in love with it, and we've been here ever since. It's been an honor to serve.
Thank you.
And for me, it's been an honor to work with these guys. That's been great. I'd like to thank the city and the city workers and manager and the police department for all they do, especially for the parade. I drove my bucket tea in it. It was fun. Got a lot of laughs from the kids. And, it's been great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Darrell, do you have anything you want to add tonight?
Nothing to report, but I will miss you, John and Mickey, and thanks for all you've done. Thanks for your friendship.
I'll miss the pears.
Seriously. You know, John over the years have been in charge of public safety and public works.
I would say I was in charge of that. But
Well, as a committee chair, John served on executive committee as pro tem and was very active. And again, we're going to miss him. Parks and Rec.
That's it.
That's Mickey. He was on other committees, but he chaired the Parks and Recs. John was on board for 20 years, 20 years.
something like that.
And you've been here, you were here for 2 years and
2 years
then,
and 12 more.
and then 12 more. So we've had a very long-serving council. And so I want to, at this time, at least for Mickey and John, present something you can take home and have a display of your service to the city. Karen will bring those over. first one for Mickey. It's in recognition of 14 years of your commitment to the city of Ball Ground. Your loyal and dedicated service has played an integral role in making Ball Ground a better place to live, work, and play. We will be forever grateful to you for your service. Well done, good and faithful servant.
Thank you very much, Rick.
Set this on the table that the bird are gonna go.
Mr. Byrd.
Mr. Bird was my father.
Johnny.
Thank you.
John Byrd. In recognition of 20 years of your commitment to the city of Ball Ground, your loyal and dedicated service has played an integral role in making Ball Ground a better place to live, work, and play. We will be forever grateful to you for your service. Again, well done, good and faithful servant.
Thank you, sir.
And as I said earlier, we felt like we probably have a short meeting tonight, so at this point, we'll go ahead and motion to adjourn, but then we're going to have a reception for Mickey and John, and some family members are here, right?
Yes, sir.
And so we're going to do that here. Outside, so just, if we would, just hang around and, but I need a motion to adjourn. Okay, thank you. We might put this down at the shortest meeting we've had. It's 32 minutes, so, but it's good to see everybody. Sure, when I've done.
There's still, it's right there in the top few.
Thank you, I sure will, you know, I'll see you around.
What,